Hey everybody, and welcome to A Kinda Crafty Kenzie. Today I have some adorable tiered trade cuties of Valentine's Day style. So let's go. So first off, I am taking some of these little tumbling tower blocks that you get from the Dollar Tree. I am just piecing two of them together just to make them a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to use those little hearts that you see there. I got those from that assorted wood bag from the Dollar Tree as well. You guys, I am obsessed with that bag. There's so much cool wood pieces in there for $1. Over 200 and some pieces. It's awesome. If you're lucky enough to see it, grab it. So as you can see, I'm just painting some of my little wood planks in the Plaster by Waverly and in Truffle by Waverly. Now I'm using some of my acrylic, my pinks and white to go ahead and mix up and make like a lighter pink, almost like a baby pink. I absolutely love that color and I am loving this color scheme. I've gotten so many compliments on this color scheme and I love it so much. So I'm glad that y'all are loving it too. And then I just painted 4 of those little hearts pink and then 4 of those little hearts in the plaster. So I got the inspiration for this project from something larger that I saw a while back and I really liked it. It was basically the same concept as what I'm doing here, but just like way larger pieces, almost for like a big wall piece or maybe like something you could put on your front porch, like quite large. Well, I didn't want to make anything that large, obviously, so I decided just to make a bunch of little ones for like a tier tray, or if you wanted to, you could easily attach some kind of twine or something behind these and make little ornaments out of them. But I decided to just do the tier trade ones. So as you can see, I went ahead and attached the plaster hearts onto the truffle brown planks and then the pink onto the plaster planks, and then I went ahead with the opposite color Sharpie and did my little stitching effect. Guys, I am also obsessed with this effect. Again, I've gotten so many compliments on this and I'm so glad you guys like it because I love it too, and I'd feel really silly if I kept doing it and nobody was liking it. So I'm really glad you all like it and I absolutely love it. I think it's just so cute and so perfect for Valentine's Day. So then I just took some pink twine and wrapped it around the truffle brown plank with the plaster hearts in the pink stitching. And then I just did the opposite with the plaster planks with the pink hearts and the brown stitching. I took just regular jute twine around that. I didn't have any rhyme or reason on how I attached it, just something cute, just, you know, give it a little more something and give it more of that rustic kind of farmhouse feel. I thought these were really cute, just something really adorable to sit on a tier tray, or like I said, you could put it on a little Valentine's Day tree, or make them a little bigger and put up on a shelf, whatever you would like. But I just thought these were really simple and really cute, but you guys will have to let me know what you think down in the comments. So next, I'm going to take this little box with this cute little gray blessed heart sign on the front. I got this from Dollar Tree. You guys have probably seen them. They also come in, like, they say thankful and something else on them. I can't remember what else they say, but there's a couple different designs. But I thought it was really cute. It's brown. It's a really pretty brown. This is actually really pretty all on its own, but I just wanted it to match my decor a little bit more. So I went ahead and popped that heart off very gingerly because I definitely am going to put that back on. And then I painted over the dark brown, and it pained me, you guys, because I love that color. But again, I just wanted it to, you know, go with my decor more. But I kept those sides the same. I kept that nice brown wood on the side with those little white hearts, and I just figured paint the top white and everything will coincide together. So then I left the heart completely alone. All I did was add that stitching, as you can see, to match the rest of my decor. But this was absolutely perfect for what I already have going on, so I knew I just needed to, you know, give it a little zip. Anyways, then I try to take a Sharpie and like kind of really emphasize these slats because this totally gave me envelope vibes. but of course the Sharpie didn't go down in those little divots far enough. So I just took a little bit of some black acrylic paint with a really fine paintbrush and just went down in there to try to fill that in.
I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away.
I did want to emphasize the brown on the sides a little bit, so I went ahead and distressed it in truffle instead of the gray that I've been distressing in a lot lately, because I wanted to bring out that brown in the sides more versus the gray on the heart.
I just need you. I don't know what it is you do. I just want you.
Then I just reattached that little heart exactly where it was before. And then I just tied a simple little bow with this white and gray gingham style buffalo check, whatever you want to call it, little ribbon that I got from Amazon, and yes, it will be linked below. And I just attached it there in the top right corner, and then that's it for this. It is all done. I think it's super cute, nice and simple, not too much, not too little. I don't know, I really dig it, but as always, let me know. Now I'm just going to take one of these little wood pallets from the Dollar Tree. I am absolutely obsessed with these. I keep these in stock like at all times in my stash. I incorporate these in my decor like every season. All the time there is at least one of these somewhere in my home. I think they are so rustic, so farmhouse, and just so cute. So I went ahead and took some of that pink paint. I did not mix it this time with any white. I just went ahead and used it. I wish I could tell you which one of the paints I used, but it was either the Cameo or the light pink, both from Apple Barrel from Walmart. They are so similar. I have mixed up my paint multiple times, having them both on like the same paper plate or something. I've started out with one of them and ended up with the other because I mix them up all the time. But as you can see, I just went ahead and painted the front and the back of this little palette with that pink color. And then I just went ahead with some white chalk paint and just did a little bit of distressing. Nothing too much, just a little bit. And then I did the same thing with a little bit of the gray as well.
You don't know I'm looking. With you everything's complete.
So the grays that I've been using right now are Elephant by Waverly, Steel by Waverly, and just most recently I've started using Nimbus by Waverly. All chalk paints, love all of them, but hands down my favorite is Nimbus. It is so pretty. It is such a soft, pretty light gray. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with it. So glad I got it. Highly recommend it. Can't wait for you guys to see it in some upcoming videos. So make sure you're subscribed and turn those notifications on, because you guys, oh, the projects to come. Anyways, those keys right there I got from Amazon. They're linked below. The heart stickers I got from the Dollar Tree. So I just took some of that light pink paint and mixed it with some white because I didn't want it to be the same color pink as the palette. And then I just painted one of the hearts in that pink color, one in the steel, and then the larger one I painted in white. So I did add stitching to my hearts, of course, and I've been asked if I prefer using a Sharpie or a paint marker when I do my stitching. I honestly have no preference. A lot of the times if I'm working on a smaller piece, I'll use my Sharpie, but like sometimes I don't like the way the pink Sharpie looks, or, you know, I don't have a white Sharpie, so I have to use the paint marker. You know, you see, it's just whatever is available. Honestly, whatever's like closest, whatever I grab, but I don't really have a preference. But so then I just went ahead and attached these little hearts to the palette, And at first I was kind of leaning towards leaving the pink one off. I thought maybe it was too much pink, even knowing they were two different colors. So I was just going to go with the white and the gray. And then I was leaving the key in that natural wood tone to kind of just pop off of all those nice pretty pastels. And then I decided to tie it with the regular, like the brown jute twine, to coincide with the color of the keys. But then after I attached my little gray heart, I was like, I really, really, really want my pink one back on here. I really think it will pop and look good because it has the gray stitching along with the white one. So I did attach it and it looks just fine. I thought it was so super cute. I was so glad I put it back on. So then I just took some more of that ribbon that I told you about a little bit ago, and I just tied a small simple little bow and then just attached it to the heart on the palette, and I think it turned out really, really cute. I absolutely positively love this. Let me know what y'all think. So next up, I am going to use 2 of these other style palettes from the Dollar Tree, and then 2 of these little hearts that you get in this pack for $1 at the Dollar Tree. They normally come with a pack of butterflies and a pack of flowers as well, so you actually get 6 little pieces for $1, but somehow the one that I got didn't have the butterflies and the flowers on them, because I grabbed like 3 or 4 packs because I needed the hearts, and somehow one got mixed in there and didn't have them. But that's okay. I'm not, I thought it was kind of funny. Anyway, so then I just went ahead and painted these 2 little palettes with this truffle brown paint. Guys, I am obsessed with Crafter Square. I absolutely love their stuff. They have some of the cutest things, like these little miniature palettes, like the palette I just did, and then these like little palettes. I think they are so adorable. I mean, I don't know who sat around and thought up, hey, let's make little miniature palettes and let people craft with them, but oh my gosh, like absolutely love them. My husband does like a lot of work with wood, and we get like a lot of larger pieces of wood, but it's so nice to have like these little miniature pieces. I think they're so cute. But anyways, so then I just painted these 2 little hearts in that same baby pink color that I mixed up, that I used on the heart in the previous project. And I just gave these a good, I think I did give them 2 coats of that because it is acrylic, and acrylic is a little watery compared to chalk paint. So then I did just go ahead and distress over that truffle just a little bit with some white chalk paint, just to kind of soften them up a little bit. So I was attaching the hearts onto the palette, and I knew that I wanted them raised up a little bit. So I just took some of these little blocks that you can get in like a pack of 30 couple from the Dollar Tree as well. These are super handy to have on hand, like in your crafter stash. I keep these in those tumbling tower blocks on hand like at all times, because this is normally what I use this for, like things like this. But so I just put a couple on there to kind of make the heart pop up a little bit, and then I just went ahead and attached both hearts to the front of the palettes like this. Even though it was cold, we were never wearing... So can you guess what I'm making yet? If y'all guessed little planners, you're right. Guys, I am not one to gloat. I am not conceited about my stuff. I am my own worst critic, but I have to say, I am so proud of these. I thought this up all on my own. I've seen all kinds of planners in all kinds of different, shapes and forms, but I thought this one up all by myself. I thought this was so cute, and you could totally use this all year round if you wanted to. I mean, I don't feel like hearts are just for Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Like, I think you could totally use this all year round, but I cannot even wait to make like little star ones, and oh, I'm so excited. So anyways, I have added in some pink flowers into the little planter since I've made this video, but at this time I was actually out of the little flowers. So there is a little pop of pink like in the color up in the floral as well. So then I just took a paint marker, or not a paint marker, a furniture marker of all things, and I went around it and gave it some stitching. So now I'm really going to throw you off. I use Sharpies, paint markers, and furniture markers. But that's from the Dollar Tree as well. So is the floral as well. Everything in this project, pretty much everything in this video is Dollar Tree. And then I just took some jute twine, the pink and the brown, and I made some little jute bows out of them. I thought it went so well with how rustic these little planters are and the colors of them. And you guys, I am so in love with these. This is probably hands down one of my faves on this video, if not my favorite. Just absolutely love them. Can't get enough of them.
When we were younger.
So for this next project, I'm just going to use 2 more of these little wooden hearts from the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. And then these little wooden planks, these little cutout like square pieces of wood, they're actually walnut. And my husband had these in his like wood stash. He had started a project like 10 plus years ago, you guys. And it did not work out at all. But he had so many of these that I ended up getting them. Like, he gave them to me when I started crafting and stuff over the summer. And I have been incorporating them like left and right. So they're finally getting used up. But I just went ahead and painted them in the truffle color. And you can easily just take some tumbling tower blocks and piece them together. Probably like 3 we get like the same size. But anyway, so as you can see, all I did here was just take some of my truffle chalk paint. It's a dark brown color, and some of the white chalk paint, and I mixed it together a little bit to get like kind of this, I don't know, it almost kind of reminds me of like a milky chocolate color as like a base. And then what I did was just really play around with the paint. Like, I kind of wanted like a different look. I didn't want just like a regular brown heart stressed. Like, I wanted like this streaky kind of look, and I had no rhyme or reason. I was just playing around, going back and forth, and I would just take a little bit of the white and make like, you know, paint a little bit on, like make like strips of it, and then go ahead back in with the truffle. And I just kept going back and forth, not completely blending them in, kind of giving them like definite lines to get like a lot of dimension. I did this a lot in my fall decor, but I wasn't filming yet at that point. I didn't have a YouTube channel yet, so I wasn't filming any of my DIYs from fall really, but I did it a lot to get like that dimension. So anyways, that's all I did with these. And then like in between, as you can see, I would hit it with the heat gun a little bit to like get it nice and dry, and then I went back in to like kind of get more like dramatic, you know, bold looks with the white and the truffle. So I don't know, guys, I was literally just playing around to see how it would come out. Then when I held the heart on the little walnut block there, I discovered that it was way too much like brown. So then I went over the little blocks with some white chalk paint pretty heavily to kind of break up the monotony of like a lot of brown, because I definitely didn't want it to be just like, I don't know, just brown, you know, I don't know. Okay. I had an idea in my head, and sometimes it's frustrating when you think of something and you just can't quite execute it. But so I knew I needed these to stand up and be attached to these little blocks. So I just used some of those little cubes from the Dollar Tree like I did before, and I just simply placed them on the back of the heart and then use those to be able to attach the heart to the little plank.
I wanna be a weekend lover. Yeah, I'ma be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers.
So I wanted to incorporate some of these like natural wood little keys in this project as well. So I went ahead and just made a little twine bow. It's simply where you just take the twine and wrap it around your hand a few times and then just snip the excess off. And as you can see, then you have like little tails, and it's a cute like little fat twine bow. It's super cute, super easy. I think it's really rustic, so I love to add it on some of my projects, especially the ones that look more rustic to me. So then I just simply took some twine and strung it through the little hole in the top of the key and then attached it to the little bow, and then that is how I attached everything to the heart. So then I just did the same exact thing with the other heart, and this is how they turned out. So there are definitely a couple pieces of like home decor that I make for like every season, every holiday. And like these little mini ladders for like a tier tray are definitely one of them. So I've made them for Christmas. I've made them for Valentine's Day. I've made them for just like farmhouse style. I've made all kinds, all colors, and all different materials I've used. I've used popsicle sticks, skewer sticks, I've used dowel rods, and now I'm using some tumbling tower blocks, which I've used before as well. I love using tumbling tower blocks the most because I love to turn them sideways like I'm doing here, to where then as it's like sitting on your tier tray, you can actually use like the little rungs, shall we say, in the middle as like a little shelf. So I thought those are really cute. We all love the little ladders. They're super farmhouse, so they're really fun to incorporate into your decor. So then I had some more of that truffle chalk paint with the white chalk paint mixed together from the hearts still there. So I don't like to waste paint, so I just went ahead and covered this with that paint, even knowing it's not gray and pink like with my other Valentine's Day decor. It's, you know, I'm definitely going to incorporate those colors into the rest of the embellishments, but I don't like to waste the paint, so I thought I would just, you know, throw it on there. And it's rustic, you know, it'll jive, y'all. I did go ahead and distress over it pretty heavily with the white chalk paint because I definitely wanted to soften up that brown a little bit. So after that had all dried, I went ahead and took some of this berry garland. Now I actually got this from Hobby Lobby, and I'm pretty sure this is like 10 yards of garland. It's a lot. it's a lot. But I thought this was really cute because you could definitely use it throughout Easter and throughout like your spring decor. I mean, it's a baby pink. It's really, really pretty, but I don't feel like it's geared towards just Valentine's Day. I know the Dollar Tree carried something very, very similar, but I was never able to find it. But I think it had some glitter on it, so I don't really know if I would have cared for it. So then I just took some of this really pretty like baby pink and white gingham ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I just tied like a simple shoelace bow and attached it to the little wreath. So the original plan for this ladder was going to be letters attached to like the middle rungs of the ladder, and then I was just going to hang the wreath over the edge. But the letters ended up not fitting. They were too big. So then I decided to just go ahead and attach the wreath to the middle of the ladder. And then here's my daughter Willow trying desperately to put those letters on that ladder some way. But I was kind of glad I kept them off because they ended up not matching too well in the end, I don't think. But this simple ladder is all done, so let me know what you think. So Valentine's Day is all about getting those Valentines, right? So going with that whole like envelope style theme, like I did with the shadow box from the Dollar Tree in an earlier project in this video, I decided to use some of these little blocks from my husband and make like little mini envelopes. I thought that these are going to be so cute, and I think they turned out really cute in the end, and they were so fun to make. So all I did was just cover these entirely, all the sides of these little blocks with a white chalk paint. Then I just kind of sketched out like what, you know, the envelope. I didn't really sketch it. I guess you just drew some lines, like a little triangle type thing. You know, like an envelope. So I did it with a pencil. That way if I made a mistake, I could easily erase it. And then once I liked them, I committed with a black Sharpie. Then I just took the Sharpie and like went around the edges of the little block to give it some dimension and really make it look more like an actual envelope. Then I went digging in my big bag of wood from the Dollar Tree, that big old 200 and some plus pieces of wood for these little tiny hearts. So I just went ahead and colored them with my light pink paint marker because I had painted these once with a paintbrush. It wasn't that easy. So I decided this would be an easy, quick way to get these painted, and then I just glued them right in the middle. So simple, so easy, and so cute.
Thinking that I could have done something, but now I'm left with an empty heart, no making amends.
So then just to add a little extra, I went ahead with my gray Sharpie and just stitched on those little pink hearts. Guys, these were so inexpensive, so simple to make, and I think they turned out absolutely adorable. So next up, we're just going to use some more of those little block pieces that I have. And again, you guys, if you don't have access to scrap wood like this, those little tumbling tower blocks, would work just fine. Just glue like two together and you would get pretty much the same size, and they would work superbly. So anyways, what I'm doing here is just making like a little stack of the faux books. I always do things in threes, and I think it's because I have 3 kids and my brain is just wired to do things in threes. So I'm putting 3 books in my like little stack of books. So I am doing my complete color, my theme of the Valentine's Day decor, and I just painted 1 block with the white, and then I painted the edges of like what's going to be like the center book with the steel gray by Waverly, and then I am using my ballet slipper by Waverly for my other book, and I'm like painting the one side and then the sides that you're going to see. There was no point in painting the ones that are going to be glued to the other ones because you're not going to see them. And I love the ballet slipper color. I wanted to say, like, I don't hate it. I really, really love it. It's like a really pretty, like, rose pink. But there's just something about that baby pink that I mix up that I don't know. It just pulls at my heartstrings. I just love it. So anyways, after I got them all attached, I just went ahead and used some of this white and gray gingham style ribbon again and just simply attached it to the books. And I did attach it with glue on the bottom of like the book. So like the white book is going to be my bottom one. So I went ahead and glued it there. And then Renna came over and was so excited because she drew a little heart and all that little scribble. And she told me what it said. And it said way more than it looked like it said. But bless her little heart. I just love her so, so much. Usually when I'm crafting, she's nearby drawing or coloring or doing something. So I love when she just randomly pops in. But so I just made a little shoelace bow and tied it to the top of my books. And I was going to add that little heart, but I don't know. I was trying it here, there, and everywhere, and I just wasn't liking it. So I left it off. Then I went ahead and did my stitching, and I did like different colors. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not doing stitching. I am edging. No, I'm stitching. Am I? No, I'm just doing the edges. Sorry, you guys. I filmed this video a couple weeks ago. But, so I just went around the edges of the book. And I didn't do stitching on the book. That's right. I forgot. So anyways, I just went around the edges of the book with my gray Sharpie, you know, just to kind of give more definition to like it's a book and not just a block. And, you know, make it look a little more realistic. And like I said, I wanted to put that little brown heart on there in the worst way, but it just wasn't working. So I just went ahead and freehanded a little pink heart and put it in the middle of the gray. And I thought they were really cute. So for this project, my husband did cut out these little blocks for me, but you could easily get some from the Dollar Tree. You could use any size blocks you want. I know they sell like these cute little cube blocks that I always try to find, but I never can. And you could grab those, or you could glue some of those like little tiny cube blocks that I used earlier together, you know, whatever. And again, you guys, these do not have to be this size. If you want to imitate this, you can use whatever size you want. This is for a tier tray, so it's going to be mini. So anyways, with all that being said, I just never want you guys to feel like you can't make something because you don't have access to like the scrap wood. Like I said, you can make it any size you want. It's just, like I said, this is for a tier tray, so I needed them to be tiny. So I just painted them with the white chalk paint. They were already white that you could see, or I'm sure you could see, I mean, because they were actually part of a tier tray that my husband had made that ended up just being too large for our bedroom after we redid it. So anyways, then I went ahead and distressed it with that steel gray by Waverly, and then as you can see, I dug through that little bag of like Scrabble pieces that I got from Amazon, and they're linked below, and I got an X and an O out, and I went ahead and attached it to those two middle blocks. And then I decided to put hearts on the end, like the end blocks. Originally I was going to do XOXO, but I don't know, I just decided to not. Once I saw it together, I thought maybe little hearts on either end of the little blocks would be cuter. So I just painted some with that ballet slipper, as you can see, and then I just attached them to those end blocks, and then I just ended up gluing the blocks together. I originally didn't plan on doing that. I thought I was just going to leave them like, what's that word? Free? Running free? I don't know. I wasn't going to attach them together. That's what I mean, but then I did. So anyways, I like them better together because I knew I wanted to add a bow. So I didn't want to add 4 bows. I just wanted 1 bow. So anyways, so then I stitched the little hearts, of course. And then I just made one of my famous jute twine bows. No, I just really love these bows, guys. So I just took that brown jute twine to kind of coincide with the brown Scrabble pieces, and then the pink, and then just wrapped it around my hand again. Really simple, you guys, to make, and then just attached it to the top of the blocks. And this project is done, and I love it. I think it's so cute. But make sure you let me know what you think in the comments. Okay guys, so last but certainly not least, we're going to take this adorable little love sign from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to cuten it up. We're going to make it cute. It's already cute, but we're just going to make it cuter. So anyways, I did go ahead and mix some of the ballet slipper paint with some white because I wanted to see what it would look like, and it lightened it up really cutely. How many times did I say cute in this video? Did you guys count? Anyways, it made it really pretty. I really like the light pink color that it gave, but I'm just a sucker for that baby pink. I don't know, but I do really like this. So anyways, and after I get done fighting with craft paper here, we're going to go ahead and continue. So this did take a hot minute to paint because you really had to get in there. I definitely wanted full coverage, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to make sure you didn't see any brown, like peeking through. I mean, I wanted to make sure I got in like inside the letters. This would be really pretty as well with just like dry brushed over with the pink, or even like a white. It would be real cute. But by the time I realized that, I was already halfway through and completely committed, so I had to finish. But I love the way it turned out, so it was definitely worth it. And I actually like to paint, so it didn't bother me. My craft paper was irritating me more than anything because it kept wanting to roll up. But anyways, so I just went ahead and it only took 1 coat, thank goodness, to cover this. I did go ahead and like distress over it a little bit with that steel gray by Waverly, and I thought that the gray on top of that pink looked really pretty. Then I just took some sandpaper and just like went over the edges to get a little bit of that wood to peek through. I didn't worry about like going over the face of the letters. Literally just like went around like the actual edge of the base and then around like the edge of the top of the letters. Then I just went ahead and attached some of this pink that pink berry garland, and I just wrapped it around. As you can see, super simple. I did use a little bit of glue just to kind of hold it in place because I kept wanting to slide around, but I love the way that little love sign looks, you guys. That pretty pink with a little bit of gray and then that little bit of wood peeking through. So gorgeous. Then I just took a little bit of this greenery from one of the wildflower picks from Dollar Tree, and it really reminds me of boxwood, so I really like it. I really like it. So anyways, I just added it on there, and I thought that little touch of green against all that pink and a little bit of brown was super pretty. And then I just tied another little shoelace bow with that pink and white gingham and just attached it right there on the corner, as you see. And this little sign is all done, and I am absolutely in love. No pun intended. Anyways, you guys, here comes the final reveal. I am so excited for you guys to see these. Don't forget to let me know which one is your favorite.
Just wanna look into your eyes. You know you make me feel like I'm alive. You are the solution.
Thank you guys so much for coming along with me today. As always, I had a blast making these little crafts. I absolutely love crafting. It is truly my passion, and I love little tiny things. I love tier trays. I love decorating them, and I love making these little things to go on them. So I had so much fun, and I just love the way they turned out. But as always, let me know what you think. I really truly love to hear what you have to say, and you guys have been amazingly kind in the comments to me with all of my projects, and you literally have made my heart so full, and I'm so overwhelmed with joy, and just, I don't know, you guys have literally blown me away, and I can't say thank you enough and how much I appreciate each and every one of you so much. You are truly amazing, and you're awesome. Like, literally, guys, you're awesome. But if you're new here and you aren't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I have so much more to show you. I can't even explain what is to come. I'm so excited for y'all to see. And if you like videos like this, please go ahead and smash that like button so that I know you like what I'm showing you. And I will see you guys very soon for some more Valentine's Day DIYs. Bye, everybody.